Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Rosina Sharon, and today the focus is going to be mostly on eyeshadow, how to apply eyeshadow for beginners. It's going to be a very simple, detailed, very detailed for beginners. And yeah, before we do that, kindly subscribe, share your thoughts on the comment section down below. I'll be reading all of them kama kawaida, and if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. And again, I'll be posting videos every day for the whole of January, so please, if you see my video, give it a big like. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my eyebrows done, and we shall continue from there. Okay guys, so my eyebrows are done. To set the eyelid space before we apply eyeshadow, use a concealer that is 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. You can use the same concealer you use to clean your brows, but always start from the lower lid going up. When it comes to blending, start blending in from the lower lid going up, so you avoid using too much product around the upper lid. You can as well use your finger to blend this in if you do not have a round fluffy brush. For this, do not use an angled brush to blend in. Use a round fluffy brush, and then just tap until it all blends in. So the next step is using an eyeshadow base. This is not a must per se, but it does help when it comes to maintaining the pigment on the eyeshadow. For beginners, I recommend you do this after you have blended in the concealer first, so it does not become too white on your face. Okay, so again, start off from the lower lid, blending up towards the upper lid, so it blends in into the concealer you started off with. And yes, it is a necessity for you to set your eyelids first before you start applying eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow today, we're going for the Royalty palette by Rosina Beauty. And in most eyeshadow palettes, there are 2 types of textures. There is a matte shades and shimmery shades. For the matte shades are the powdery shades without any shine to them whatsoever, just powdery, the way you can see there. And then the shimmery shades are the shiny ones. That is what we call the shimmery shades. So for transitions, they are always matte shades. And for our first transition, we're going for the shade Zawadi. So make sure the eyelid space has been blended in completely. There's no creases whatsoever before you start applying. So when it comes to applying eyeshadow, we start off with transitions always. So place your first dot on the outer corner where your upper lash line touches your lower lash line, and then the next dot just below where your eyebrow is curved on the upper lid. Okay, for transition, we're focusing on the upper lid. So place your second dot there, and then your third dot just before the inner corner on the upper lid, just before the inner corner. This is going to give you a guideline on how you're going to place your first transition. So when it comes to blending in your first transition, use a smaller fluffy brush, round and fluffy. So start off from the outer corner going towards the inner corner, concentrating on the upper lid. And when it comes to blending, use circular motions and very little force. So just blend in, connecting the 3 dots from the outer corner going towards the inner corner, focusing on the upper lid. Use circular motions, very little force. Okay, circular motions, very little force from the outer corner going towards the inner corner, focusing mostly on the upper lid. And how you hold your brush is very important. Do not hold it too close to the bristles. It's not going to give the bristles enough space to move around freely. So make sure you give it a bit of space when you're holding your brush. And you see how the outer corner appears. Do not bring it in to the crease region. Okay, just focus around the outer corner. So blending the first transition shade, you should always go for shades that have earth tones. That is the reds, oranges, yellow, and brown. Red, orange, yellow, brown. And to blend in your first transition, use a color that is lighter than the one you started off with, and blend it in using a round fluffy brush. So where to blend in? We're blending it at the edge of the first transition, the edge of the first transition. Okay, so it blends in to the first transition you started off with. and the technique is just the same. And please remember, you lined your eyebrow on the upper side, so avoid the brush touching into the eyebrow, because it's going to mess up with that line you created in the first place. So the technique is the same, from the outer corner going towards the inner corner, using circular motions, very little force. And then after you have blended that in is when now you can darken the outer corner of the transition. This one you can use a darker shade than the one you started off for the transition. Use a smaller brush for this. And the technique is just to tap, 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 and this one should be concentrated on the outer corner only. Do not bring it into the crease region, just around the outer corner, so it creates an ombre effect from the inner corner going towards the outer corner. So next, because it's a beginner tutorial, we're not going to draw a cut crease. We're just going to blend in around the crease region, because by the time you're done blending in the transition, that area would have creased already. So just use the brush that the product remaining on the brush you use to clean your eyebrows, and blend that area in first before you apply eyeshadow on the crease region. And then around the cut crease region, the trick here is, when it comes to blending the space, make sure it covers at least 3/4. That is in terms of length, not width. 3/4 of the eye. Do not just bring it to half of the eye, like the middle part of the eye. It's just going to look crazy. Make sure you at least cover 3/4 in terms of length for the cut crease, that is, because you're going to blend in around the edges regardless. So make sure you cover at least 3/4 of that, so it looks more, flattering. And then next, to apply eyeshadow on top of it, I normally used to do the same brush, this angled brush, but then I discovered a new technique. Use a fluffy brush to apply eyeshadow on top of the crease region. You see how fluffy that brush is? It's still a bit angled, but very, very fluffy, not very, very angled. When you're using an angled brush, it does not blend in very smoothly. It leaves a bit of patches. So here for beginners, here is when now you can use a shimmery shade for transition. Not for transition, for the cut crease region, you can use a shimmery shade. For us, we're just using this nude shade, but it has a bit of shimmer, but from afar, not like very, very shimmery. And then just tap it in around the areas of the cut crease area. Just tap, tap, tap until it all blends in. Don't use too much product. And then after that you have done that, now you can blend in the edges of the crease. Use the very same brush you applied your first transition. Do not put more product on that brush. Just the product remaining on that brush is enough, because you want a very smooth blend. Don't add product on top of that brush. So next, I'm just placing an eyeliner tutorial for the sake of it. We're going for the Zaron gel eyeliner, and when you're using a gel eyeliner, use a very angled brush to line with it, very, very angled. Okay, and then when you're placing the product on the brush, do not dip it in, because it's going to accumulate product on top of the brush. Just do it side to side. So where to start lining, especially when you're doing a wing eye, where your lower lash line touches your upper lash line, that is where you start lining from. And then you draw that wing going upwards, yes, but focusing it, I don't know, like the angle should be outwards. That is what I meant. The angle should be outwards. And then connecting it in to your eyes. Do it halfway, both sides. So start from the middle part of the line you drew. Okay, do not start from the upper side. And then connect it down halfway, to the, lid space, if that makes sense. So the eyeliner is concentrated mostly around the outer corner, and then it thins out going towards the inner corner. So around the inner corner, place it as close to your natural lash line as possible. Start off with a very thin wing eye before now you can, make it thicker depending on your eyelid space. For people with hooded eyelids, avoid this. So that would be it from me today, guys. Let me know. I hope you have learned something from I tried to make it as detailed as possible. And for beginners, for transitioning shade, the safest shades to play with is dark browns and maroons. So I hope you have learned something from this tutorial. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.